The third thing, and most important, we all get surface clutter on our electronics many times. We can do how the boat position was wired, that can be a key deal, but the most important thing that really helps in many ways is being able to look at your sensitivity. Turn the automatic sensitivity, I like to turn it off, and I like to set my sensitivity on manual. Most of the time out west, I'm fishing 50 foot or less. I can only remember one time where I was fishing over 50 foot, and that was at Lake Oroville for spots. And I caught them one day, and the next day they were way moved out. But the fun part about this is your sensitivity, turn it off of automatic, and when you put that on manual, set the sensitivity ranging from 80 to 85%. And what that's going to do for you is it's going to make, especially on your new color units, you'll look at your graph and you'll see up there all the surface clutter slowly start to disappear. So now you can really focus on what you see on that graph, but more importantly, you can see your bait go down a lot clearer. Which brings us to the number 4th and final way on electronics. And these are just some of the basics, but these things are going to be great for you. A few years ago, we did a Bassmaster show, September of '06, we filmed it. It was an Elite Series tournament down at Table Rock Lake. Extremely clear water, typical western impoundment. A lot of the spots were up there moving up on the bridge pines. A lot of people said, man, I saw you on ESPN, that was awesome. You were seeing the fish on the graph, and then you were catching them 60 foot deep. How in the world did you do it? Listen, you can go buy the cheapest Fishfinder from whatever manufacturer you want, $150 unit that's black and white, put it up on the front of the boat. You can then take a penny. If you drop the penny in the right spot, you'll be able to watch it go down to 30 to 40 foot. One penny, you'll be able to watch it fall on any graph made 30 to 40 foot deep. And I was always the guy in the beginning that I would take my bait and I'd say, God, this thing's broke. And I'd drop it in the water and I'd say, look at the graph. And I wouldn't see a darn thing. Couldn't see it. Man, what in the world's going on? I take this, I drop it down, and I can see on TV where a lot of the pros, they would take it, drop it, they'd watch the bait fall all the way down on the graph. They would jig it with the rod tip up like this, they'd see the bait go like this. It was real time, very interactive. I tried. Back then, that pro was fishing a Lowrance X85, that used to be the hot stuff. That was like 7 or 8 years ago. So I went out and found one used at a garage sale and begged my mom to get it, and we got it. And I couldn't make it do it. So I sent it in, I said it was broke. And they said, no, you need to learn to use electronics. Here we go. Transducer, let's say this is our trolling motor, okay? Here's the transducer. Again, we talked about the deeper the water is, the wider the code angle. Only 19 to 22%. We'd like to think that when we have a transducer on the boat and it shoots down, that you're seeing everything everywhere. But in reality, you're seeing very small. If you're in 5 foot of water, your cone angle is only going to here. If you're in 25 foot of water, your cone angle is here. 50 foot, it's getting wider. The deeper the water, the wider it scans. If this is on the trolling motor right now, this is the transducer, and you drop this bait 3 foot away from it, maybe, just maybe, you will find this bait as the graph is slowly starting to move out the screen. You might find a little blip slowly sinking down. Well, it's no good. It's already off the screen. If you want real time, if you want to drop an 1/8 ounce crappie jig, just have a quarter of the size, and watch this bait fall 30 foot, and you want to see these arches down there, and you want to catch that fish and be able to visually see it on your graph, the whole trick of the trade, 150%, is taking your bait and consistently, day in and day out, on every single drop when you're fishing vertical, dropping this bait within 6 inches of the transducer. That's it. That's the whole trick of the trade. Here's the transducer on your trolling motor. Here it is going down. Take a look at this. You drop this 6 inches away. Now it picks up on the cone angle. It slowly drops. Your chart speed, your ping speed are max. Your sensitivity is at 80 to 85% set on manual. You will now watch this bait fall very slowly all the way down on your graph. And when it hits down there, and you can now stop at 32 foot 6 inches over 80 foot of water to see that fish suspended. You can now jig it up and down and watch your rod tip and watch it go like this on the screen. You can watch the fish that's 10 foot below, get real curious about what's going on, and move up to want to attack the bait. You can see it. And that's what's so awesome, is you're no longer fishing blind, you're using your electronics to your advantage. And what you see is what you get. You have to learn to trust it, but it's all about the right setup. So again, the last recap is, if you want to see the fish on the screen, if you want to visually see this bait fall all the way down to that school of fish, or down to that structure, If you want to watch your bait fall on your graph every single time out, you have to drop the bait within 6 inches of this transducer. Here it is on the trolling motor, 3 foot below your boat. You have to take this, many times with a drop shot or dart hand, just drop it and hope that it hits right there on top of it. If it's 2 foot away, I'm not saying it's not going to show up. It's going to show up half to 3/4 where the screen's already gone. Well, that makes no sense. Your chart speed's max. Again, what you see under the boat right now is what you're getting under the boat when your electronics are set up. This bait, 100% of the time, you drop it right 6 inches from your transducer, you will watch it fall 100% down on your graph. Now the last but not least, when we're dealing with these fish out here, is understanding what we're looking at on the graph. Now, I get this question all the time. People say, well, how come the fish all swim the same way? And we know they don't swim the same way. It's just that's the only way the chart moves. So we don't know if the fish are going or coming from us or which angle they're moving. The chart just rotates one way, and that's just the way those fish are positioned. But here's something that helps. No one can tell you that that's a bass versus striper, or this is a carp versus sturgeon, because we can't really tell that, obviously. After a while, you'll start to see what species are more friendly towards the shad versus what's not. Actually, if you find a little dark shad volumes positioned on the graph, more times than not, you'll find a lot of activity. Now, here's the deal. We all know that take the fish ID off. If you look at your fish finder, there they go, coming on up. You look at your fish finder, and you see fish on there, more times than not, take that off. It will lie to you. You'll go right over the water. It will pick up small bubbles. It will pick up algae. It will pick up matter inside of a piece of wood structure around rocks. Take fish ID off. You have 2 options. Fish ID is going to show a little bitty fish on there. The second is take fish ID off, and it's going to show you arches. Your fish is going to look nothing but this. It's going to look just like a little arch there, just like a comet, okay? And when you see an arch, and you're moving over, and an arch appears up on your screen, all you're seeing is this. It's just an arch. The fish is staying still. He's not active. When you pass over a fish on the screen, and you see an arch, he's just kicking back. He's just sitting there. He doesn't want any trouble. He's not moving. He is sitting still. That is the arch. So some people say, oh, look for arches. Well, I like arches because that means I'm around fish. Is he a carp, a largemouth, a bluegill? I can't tell you. Okay? But however, the bigger the fish, the bigger the arch. An ideal situation would be when you're idling over some trees or you're idling over a hump, and before long you start seeing a bunch of arches, the fish that you want to go after, and before long you'll be able to pinpoint when you drop this bait and will fall on the graph and when it's going to fall right onto that fish. The fish that you want to go after day in and day out naturally is the active fish, because the active fish, he's the one moving around chasing. He's the one that's willing to bite, okay? And the whole trick to find the active fish is to understand what he looks like on the screen. He's still going to be a natural arch, but here's the deal. It's going to be like what I call the Halley's Comet, a lightning bolt. You're going to see an arch, but he's not going to look like all the other arches, because naturally as he comes up on the screen to look at your bait, he's going to leave a trail. It looks like little pieces of pepper right below the arch. And what these pieces of pepper are means is this fish is moving. The next time the screen's going to move around, you'll see him. He's going to be up 5 or 6 more feet. This fish is active and he's willing to feed. Those are the fish that I love to go after, because he's not just sitting there. This fish is actually active and he's willing to bite. So again, you're looking for what I call the Halley's Comet. It's always going to be like this, and it's going to have lots of little speckles below it. That means the fish is actively moving through the water column and is willing to chase the bait.